Hello, operator. Get me Jive Records, because I'm the one bringing sexy back. That's me! A camera, a light, a backdrop, a microphone. You don't mean.
Oh, I mean.
It's Elevate. Elevate is finally back after 6 years. Elevate is finally making its big return. Elevate brings you different news stories, interviews, and we also play games and we show you guys skits. And speaking of skits, here's the first one now. Award-winning actor and singer Darius McCray, best known for his role as Eddie Winslow in Family Matters, has joined forces with multi-platinum songwriters Javon and Eric Dawkins for an 8-week entertainment master's class, the MAP Intensive. According to the press, the MAP Intensive classes has been created in an effort to assist those pursuing careers in the entertainment industry. The MAP was designed so that students can have direct access to the industry professionals live and direct. For more information, visit www.themapintensive.com. Now here is someone you should know, Dr. Willie Wilson. He is a former candidate to be the mayor of Chicago. Dr. Wilson is known for helping the less fortunate throughout the city, and many believed his good deeds were done to earn the votes from the citizens. But once the race was over and another candidate won, Dr. Wilson continued with his good deeds. Not only that, we found out that he has had a generous heart way before any election campaign. Since COVID-19, we've seen him in action risking his own health to distribute essential needs, especially in the low-income communities. Dr. Wilson has been spotted all across the city of Chicago. He's distributed masks and even donated to essential workers, visiting hospitals and clinics. He even met with pastors of churches across the city, no matter the denomination, to give them money to help get them through for a little while. Dr. Willie Wilson distributed 5 million masks at a few locations that will cover the entire city. This goes to show that there's not always an alternative motive for kind-heartedness. The election is over, yet Dr. Willie Wilson concerns for the entire health of Chicago, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Please come back, because we have a little bit more coming up with the creator of Elevate. I'm not understanding. I don't get it. As you all know, this is our first show since 2014. And that means that right now we are about to have our first interview in 6 years. And who better than to have the writer, director, producer, former stockbroker, and the creator of Elevate herself. Give it up for my mother, Ametra Self. How are you doing today, Ma?
I am fabulous.
So let's get right down to business. As we all know, this Elevate is a revamp of the original that was done 6 years ago. Can you give our viewing audience a reason why you decided to recreate Elevate?
Well, now the original purpose for creating Elevate was because I became overwhelmed with so much negative news, especially in the city of Chicago. There were so many great things that was going on, but it was put on the back burner because it seemed as if so much focus was only on like the crimes, the shootings, the killings, and especially within our communities. And so trying to share the good news was just going unnoticed. That's why I decided to create this type of news show where, we can use it as a platform to share the positive things that's going on. And although that happened in 2014, as we fast forward to 2020, in reality, it's actually difficult talking about what's going on in the world without, sharing some type of negative news stories. But I strongly believe that there has to be balance. I launched Elevate in 2014 with the vision of having 12 reporters and anchors. We were to go out and, to the different events and different things like that, and just provide coverage and for different things that people, are doing, not just in Chicago, but just really from all over. And then of course, we began losing cast, and by the time we got to the final shows, as that saying goes, and then there was one.
Exactly.
And that one person is the show host right now, and rightfully so. And Kendall, I am like 100% confident that you'll do a fantastic job. You truly have the personality to engage the audience and guests on the show. And so I think that now is the right time because we still want to try to bring in some positivity. And I think that's really important to bring in some positive news, positive. What are people doing, outside of, because like in music, it's not just entertainment and sports. Somebody's an entrepreneur that may have a new business that we wouldn't normally hear about. And just spreading a lot of positive as well. So we can definitely have that balance.
I completely agree. And I know that this is basically just like the dream job that you've always wanted to have at a young age.
Yes.
Basically doing a news show. So why don't you talk a little bit more about that to our viewing audience?
Well, I was a little girl and I used to watch, actually it was Channel 7, and it was something about this news anchor, Fahey Flynn. And a lot of people, I'm telling my age, a lot of people remember him. He was like just so cuddly, and it was just something about sharing the news. So now I even find myself reporting that news, getting that news out, and kind of being the first to get the news out.
And that, my friends, is what you call a dream. We'll be right back with a little bit more from my mother, Ametra Self, right after this. You all are entitled to some great entertainment. Be sure to like and subscribe to see future shows. And please, click that notification button. All right, we are back with my mom once again to finish out this interview. We want to talk about It Takes a Village. Now, It Takes a Village was a production that we've done before, back in 2008, if I'm not mistaken. And our plans have been to revamp It Takes a Village. So why don't we talk about that now?
It Takes a Village is a feature-length film. We had produced our first original one in 2008. And it's the story of a young boy named Travail. He's an 8th grade student who tries to get the attention from his father. He's him being raised by his grandmother. And what happens is his father discovers that there are so many different things that's going on, not only that he's dealing with, but also his peers. And he wants to get to the bottom of what is actually plaguing their school with failure. And so he starts a youth organization and getting more involved with his son as well as his peers. And you'd be surprised at the different things that the young 8th grade students are actually enduring or going through that is actually becoming a distraction for them educationally and academically. 12 years ago, some of the content that was in it, it was like, for example, it was almost taboo to touch on the topic of child suicide. So when promoting it, for example, on the radio, and as you know, it was accepted as for Community Day, and it screened in Chicago at a theater. and for a couple of days, and we had a sold out crowd. We had to turn people away. Then the radio stations and the different radio stations and newspapers and TV news outlets, they all came out, and we had to actually do a Q&A session about it. However, when we were promoting the screening for it, I noticed that whenever they played the trailer, they would bleep out a specific line. And the reason is because back then society felt like it didn't exist, especially in the African American or, the Black background community. And so now again, fast forwarding to say 2018, 2019, the reports on child suicide, just child suicide as one of those topics we touch on, it was at an all-time high. And so, it took the country by surprise because no one wanted to talk about it. And they were so young. And so even though our character, he's in the 8th grade, or they're in the 8th grade, but it's even, started happening even much younger. And so, I can tell you this, that a lot of things will be revealed in the revised, the remake of It Takes a Village. And so this time around, Kendall, you get to portray the role of the father. So last time you were the son, Travell, and Travell, which is now he's being portrayed by child actor Isaiah Vaughn. And then we also have the wonderful actress who portrayed the role of Grammy. She played your grandma. Now she's going to play your mother, actress Laura Walls, and she's going to reprise her role. And we have a fantastic cast. So the pandemic kind of put a damper on it because we were right there. We had just had our reading, a couple of weeks prior to when you flew in to Chicago from LA. And we had our table reading, and everyone talked about how important it is, to do this, and how it touched on so many different topics this time around. Like I said, things that was kind of unheard of back then. A lot of these things are coming to light. And so I can't wait till, we get ready, be able to actually produce it.
The wonderful thing that I enjoy about this cast alone is how wonderful of a mix that we all are. Working with newcomer Kiara Martin, working with newcomer Isaiah Vaughn, working with people who have been in the industry for a while, Christopher A. Greer, Laura Walls. It is an absolutely amazing cast, and I cannot wait to get back started. All right, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I am very happy that you came to be a part of the first episode of your show. So with that being said, that is all the time that we have for this interview today. Please make sure that you stay tuned for the game of the day.
Alexa, get me a garbage can. Never mind.
Game time, it's game time. So listen, guys, this is how the game time is going to be played every single show. I'm going to ask a question, and you have until the end of that day that the show comes out to answer that question correctly. So you have to make sure that you watch the entire show and keep that notification bell buzzing, because you want to make sure that you are there to claim your prize. Today's question is, Single Parent Day is a national holiday created by which president? Please make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe. If you just comment, your answer will not be valid. So please make sure that you do all of the above. Wow, today has been such an amazing show. I have absolutely loved, and I cannot wait to do more shows, more games, more interviews, more absolutely everything involving this show. Remember, guys, we don't hate, we elevate. See you tomorrow.